The brain is an autopilot mechanism. We have automatic thoughts all day long, usually without consciously thinking about the nature of them. And these thoughts are electrical patterns that move through our neural pathways in the most efficient way possible. Due to habit and the established pathways, the brain will think the same thought again and again in a very effortless way. So creating new thought patterns that automatically work in our favor can take a little bit of effort. For any change to occur, we must consciously and very deliberately alter the patterns that are already recognized and accepted by the brain. Additionally, the thoughts we have create visualizations that keep us rooted in specific perceptions. Sometimes these thoughts include our fears and regrets, which keep us stuck in a pattern of stress or even a depressed state. And the stronger the emotions that coincide with specific thoughts, the more established beliefs become regarding the subject of them. Everything encountered is then filtered through those beliefs and creates what we perceive as our reality. However, there's a place within each person where thoughts hold no dominion. Think of your mind like an ocean. On the surface, there are waves that move consistently, and these are representative of the thoughts you hold. But miles below these waves, there is calm and stillness. Beneath the movement of the thoughts, there is perfect quietude and tranquility, a place that is free of disturbances. This place is just as much a part of our nature as the thoughts and beliefs we hold. We all experience this inner peace occasionally, usually while doing our favorite things, such as eating food we enjoy, enjoying the rhythm of a favorite song, treating ourselves to a massage, or gathering with our friends and family. This inner part of us is what relieves our stress. It centers us in the now moment and makes us feel alive. We may perceive it as coming from outside experiences, but this calmness is always within us and experienced in a very internal way. Negative thinking is simply a pattern that's developed. It's not the real self. But through enough of any type of thinking, those thoughts turn into beliefs and become the lens through which we interpret the world around us. The mind always searches for ways to validate our beliefs about ourselves and the world we live in, even if those beliefs aren't in alignment with who we really are. If you believe you will never have the body you want, or become rich, or find the right relationship, then your brain will find evidence to support those beliefs. In the same way, if you believe you are successful, loved, and abundant, your brain will find support for that as well. All beliefs are self-reinforcing. The brain will notice and remember the details that confirm our beliefs and reject anything that doesn't match that. This is known as confirmation bias fallacy, which is the tendency to search for, interpret, favor, and recall information in a way that confirms one's pre-existing beliefs. Most all beliefs operate within this very structure and create the default way of perceiving the world, whether that be favorable or not. To avoid the trap of reinforcing negative thoughts that become beliefs, it's important to get back to that still, calm part of you that isn't attached to them. The first step to changing your thinking is to become the observer. When changing your thought patterns, and therefore your beliefs, begin by accepting that your mind may experience thoughts that correspond to negative realities, rather than resisting these thoughts. Don't pass judgment on them, or even react to them. Don't approve or disapprove of them. Simply watch them enter your mind from the standpoint of the inner self that is not connected to them, and then watch them leave on their own without resisting them. One simple way to do this is by thinking of each negative thought as an arrow. On release, an arrow accelerates at maximum speed, which can be compared to a rush of negative thoughts in the mind. However, the acceleration eventually decreases, and generally quite quickly, causing the arrow to fall to the ground with no further energy or momentum. This is also how our thoughts work. When a negative thought enters your mind, envision that it's one of these arrows, and simply observe it losing its momentum within a few moments and then disappearing. In this way, these types of thoughts can be stripped of any strength they have without adding more energy to them. If the thought persists in its momentum, imagine yourself pulling this thought arrow back on a bow and releasing it out into the universe for it to live out what life it still has on another plane of existence. Another way to simply observe thoughts that you no longer wish to entertain is by dissolving your attachment to them. Begin to see your negative thoughts as separate from you and articulate them as such. For example, if you're feeling overwhelmed and anxious, simply say to yourself, "I am having the thought that I am overwhelmed and anxious." Or, "My mind is telling me that I am overwhelmed and anxious." This type of statement shifts the mind in such a way that it disidentifies the self from the thoughts and gives you back the power they once appeared to have. It allows you to choose how to experience the thought. And most often, once this takes place, the feeling states that are attached to those thoughts will diminish also. You are not the voice of your mind. You are the one who hears it. Whatever thoughts or feelings show up for you in any given moment, they cannot define or control you unless you allow them to. By noticing the thoughts that enter your mind, you become the observer of them, rather than a product of them. If we are self-aware and mindful of our thoughts, we can then exercise the power we choose to give them. They are like clouds in the sky. They show up, float around for a while, and then dissipate. It's up to you to decide if you want to get entangled in them or let them go. You have the power within you to choose.